Hello viewers, this is Gambia24 with me, Sohna Tunkara. Let's take a look at our news bulletin. President Adama Barrow presided the national funeral of all-time Gambian best footballer. Gambia records 5th COVID-19 death with 7 doctors testing positive. Gambia Armed Force deploys troops to Kirpate following incidents of armed robberies in the area. This and more coming up on Gambia24. Stay tuned. Welcome and thanks for joining us. The legendary late Momodu Biribiri Njai's legacy has finally been recognized as the country holds a national funeral convergence on Wednesday. President Adama Barrow, who presided over the occasion at the July 22nd Arch in the capital city of Banjul, paid special homage on the fallen hero. He recalled some of the tropical moments during the life of Mr. Biribiri.
Alaji Biri's character as a patriot Gambians was demonstrated many times during his sporting career, footballing in particular. He sacrificed for his country and made every effort to fly the Gambian flag high in the footballing world. As we mourn, all Gambians should be proud of Alaji Njai Biri and be thankful that he gave to his motherland as he could when he had to. Together, let us pray that the many Gambian football enthusiasts and sponsors who departed this world before him, such as the late Alaji Obi Konate, of blessed memory, are waiting in heaven to receive him.
May the departed souls rest in peace. And of course, the Gambia Health Ministry has announced the confirmation of 20 new cases of COVID-19, 8 of whom are healthcare workers, mainly from the country's main referral hospital in Banjul. The latest news on Tuesday presented the 5th death as a result of COVID-19, as well as the positive test on a WHO staff currently in the Gambia. More in this report.
A staff of the World Health Organization is among the 8 new cases confirmed on health workers in the Gambia in the latest batch of 20 cases of coronavirus. The Tuesday report by the Ministry of Health announced the 5th coronavirus-related death in the country since March 2020. The deceased was a security guard at a private medical clinic within the Greater Banjul area, according to sources. Together with the Congolese UN consultant in the Gambia, 5 Cuban doctors and 2 Gambian doctors are among the health workers who tested positive of the coronavirus. In less than 2 weeks, 22 health workers have been enrolled for treatment in a 60% increase in the number of COVID-19 cases for the past 20 days. The registration of 20 new cases, being the highest report in a single day, brings to 132 the total of COVID-19 cases ever confirmed in the country. Meanwhile, 639 people are under quarantine, 64 are under treatment, while 5 cases are on a probable stage.
The Gambia's Ministry of Health has finally received the medical equipment to support the fight against COVID-19 thanks to partnership with the World Bank. The new consignment marked a tap on the back of health workers at a time when the number of cases has exceeded 100, including 22 health workers. Detailed in this report. The arrival of medical supplies, including 10 ambulances procured from the Republic of Turkey with the support of the World Bank, is expected to strengthen the COVID-19 response muscles of the Gambia's Ministry of Health. The World Bank committed a grant of $10 million for the procurement of medical supplies to enhance COVID-19 case detection, tracing, and reporting. Minister of Health Dr. Amadou Lamin Samate, who received the items at the Banjul International Airport, graded the materials highly, noting of their readiness to the provision of quality healthcare service delivery in the country.
We stand here to receive 10 state-of-the-art ambulances for the people of this country. Now, we had never seen this before. I had never seen ambulances like this in this country before in my life. Today, we receive these kinds of ambulances that are state of the art, that are ready for use for the provision of quality healthcare delivery services in the Gambia.
Minister Samateri assured Gambian people that the COVID-19 funds provided by the Gambian government and its partners will all be accountable judiciously.
Now, we want to tell the people of this country that this is a manifestation that the COVID-19 funds, the COVID-19 support from the partners will be put to very, very, very good use. We have already seen that, and the arrival of these 10 brand new state-of-the-art ambulances is a manifestation of that, and that we will guard relentlessly to make sure that every butut of the funds of government geared towards COVID-19 and all the funds from the donor partners are put to very, very, very good use.
He also took the opportunity to salute frontline workers for their sacrifice during this unprecedented time brought about by COVID-19 pandemic.
COVID-19 came, it is unprecedented times. We have our frontline health workers who are there in the thick of things. We want to show appreciation. We want to send our respect to all of them. As you have already known, some healthcare workers have tested positive as we speak. Our prayers go to them and their families. We support them and we tell them that the Ministry of Health, the government of the Gambia, and all our partners are with them in prayers and support, and we continue to support them. We want to tell them that the people of this country appreciate their hard work, their dedication, their commitment to duty, even when their health and their lives are at risk.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Mamadou Tangara commended the World Bank for supporting the Gambian government in its quest to contain the COVID-19 pandemic. He encouraged the public to respect the emergency regulations as it is geared towards protecting people from the disease.
I have a sense of relief today that ambulances are here, and this is also an opportunity once again to urge and encourage people to respect some of the measures taken by government. It's not with pleasure that some of the measures are taken. As I always say, we are trying to protect people against themselves. We are trying to protect ourselves and our families because the pandemic is real. COVID-19 is real. The fact that people are still in denial is very worrisome.
Recently, the number of COVID-19 cases has been at an increasing rate of 60%, with the number hitting 132 as of this week. For iAfrica TV, Sohna Tunkara.
Well, as the battle against coronavirus still continues and the Muslim feast of Tobaski is approaching, market vendors, mainly tailors in Old Yundum, have called on government to consider further easing of emergency restrictions. Their plea came in consideration of the occasional night shifting for tailors in the production of the popular African attires for men and women during the religious event. The enforcement of the COVID-19 emergency measures, according to the vendors, is putting businesses at a standstill. Let's take a look.
The arrival of medical supplies, including 10 ambulances procured from the Republic of Turkey with the support of the World Bank, is expected to strengthen.
Despite the easing of COVID-19 restrictions, vendors at the Coastal Road Market have called on the government to further extend the closing time as business booms better in the evening. The Gambia government last month announced the easing of market restrictions imposed in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. This move was welcomed by vendors who said it is long overdue, but 1 month down the line, vendors at Coastal Road expressed frustration over the closure of business barely 2 weeks before Tobaski. Suleiman Bay, who operates a tailoring workshop, said The nature of his work is such that the day is allocated for marketing while the actual sewing is done at night, but this goes in contrast with current emergency regulations.
suñ jafe-jafe mooy ñun suñ commencé liggéey bu 6 jotee ñaareel police yi dinañ ñëw nañu paak leen time jot na understand nga ne nañ tëj te xam nga ñun suñu xëyee daanaka du ñu mën a liggéey dañuy jokkoo client yi di waxtaan ak ñoom price ñi indi ñëw ñuy waxtaan ak ñoom comprendre nga suñu waxtaanee ak ñoom daanaka ngoon gi bee ngoon daal duñ mën a liggéey daanaka guddi gi rek la ñuy am time pour liggéey soo gars yi buñ ñu xañee guddi gi kon dafay am problème te tey police bu ñëwee ne la tëjal nga tëj borom ñëw jox la ñëwoo ko julli gi jot mu jàppale yóbbu police boo demee police téye la xam nga kon loolu jafe-jafe la si téyeel quoi loolu daal bokk na si li nga xamante ni daf ñu métti trop métti nañu loolu moom métti nañu.
He pleaded with the government to allow them to work at night, without which they would experience problems with customers. Mor Cisse, also a tailor, said the timing is bad for them, emphasizing the importance of working at night. Nyima Seka, a vendor at the market, considered the later hours as the best time to make sales. However, beginning at 6 o'clock in the evening, the police would be active in the enforcement of market closure.
Ci marché bi mom dafa doy wa trop. Si léegi moom nguur bi ñu alaaw ñu ibi 6 o'clock di tëj 6 te time 6 bi boobu la customer yi day ñëw te time boobu noonu si nga mun a jaay te time boobu soo tëjutee gaa dañ la dee tëj ñu yóbbu la si station bi waaw diston nañu trop marché bi nag corona bi moom laal nañu lool waaw si last year ak this year marché bi nu moo doxee lifuñu dara business bi yëpp dafa sulu.
Omar Fall, a concerned businessman, observed some difficulties brought about by the coronavirus for small and medium enterprises, calling for the extension of operational time for vendors in the old Yundum market. This scenario of market operation is factored in the 2020 economic outlook by the African Development Bank, which predicts a negative 2% decline in the economy of states in West Africa, blamed on the coronavirus global pandemic. The report indicated that the growth could fall as much as negative 4.3% in the worst-case scenario. For iAfrica News, I am Khadija Tuseka.
Well, from that report by Khadija Tuseka, the Imam of Serekunda Gaddafi Mosque, Sheikh Barham Job, has been laid to rest a day after his demise on Wednesday. Barham, aged 67, is the second high-profile Imam and Islamic scholar to die this month after the death of former Supreme Islamic Council President Alhaji Bandin Drame. The late Imam was laid to rest this morning at the Serekunda Cemetery. Barham Job was the first Imam at the Serekunda Gaddafi Mosque, which was built by the former Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. May his soul rest in peace. Moving on. In response to the series of armed robberies that surfaced in Kirpati village sometime last month, the Gambia Armed Forces has on Monday deployed troops to patrol the village. More in this report.
The Gambia Armed Forces has announced the deployment of troops to Kirpati village in the North Bank region following a spate of armed robberies in the community. The village in particular came under a violent armed attack which resulted to the looting of a considerable amount of money of businessmen in June this year. The incident, according to the army, is symptom of a series of periodic armed robberies that occur in villages along the Gambia-Senegal borders. Reports indicated that these armed robbers use pickups and horse carts as a mode of transport to launch attacks and cross the border back into Senegal. The deployment of military troops, according to the army, is to conduct vigorous patrols within the general area of Kirpati in order to protect lives and properties of the people. For iAfrica News, I am Daisy.
Well, viewers, with that report brings this edition of Gambia24 to an end. Please join my colleague Ibrahim Gay with the news in Wolof shortly. I am Sohna Tunkara. Thanks for watching.
tey nag dama kontaan bu baax sax si ñëw bi nga ñëw seet si suma tabax gi kontaan naa ci trop.
maa gën a kontaan bi ma ñëwee fekk